Good morning, everyone. Thank you, dear Amjad Bashir. Thank you, the organizer, for having me. My name is Nouh Harmouzi from the Arab Center for Scientific Research and Humane Studies. Think, do, thank, which promote free markets, inclusive growth in the Arab world. I am happy today to share this session, this panel, with 4 prestigious speakers. And we are going to be speaking to you today about the future of market liberalization in Africa and in the Middle East. Why this region? This region is currently undergoing its most transformative changes for centuries. There are factors in this transformation that could plunge this region into more disintegration, violence, and chaos than what have been seen in the last 7 years. The Arab uprisings made it clear that the economic framework and institutions in the Arab countries needed to change. Since then, there has been some reforms and progress in Morocco, in Egypt, in Oman, in Jordan, but many serious observers confirm that the core structural weaknesses in the economic frameworks in many countries in this region, they need to be addressed. Economic performance in the Middle East and Africa has stayed below its potential for at least 40 years. There were periods of sharp growth, followed by sharp falls. But growth was never sustained in this region. Historical data show that most of the input growth in the region occurred during boom years because of increases in natural resources, oil, natural gas, cacao and chocolate, phosphate, etc. This region grows by natural resources and slows by natural resources. Approximately 2/3 of the countries in this region are natural resource exporters, and over the past 5 decades have benefited immensely from several episodes of natural resources price shocks. The positive spillovers of the boom years also have benefited to natural resource importers who are recipients of foreign direct investment, remittances, and tourism. Nevertheless, the volatile pattern of long-term growth in this region reveals that these countries initiate growth but fail to sustain it. A major consequence of the volatile growth is the region's high level of youth unemployment. The rate is nearly 30%, the highest rate in the underdeveloped world or the developing world. The rate for female is even higher, standing around 50% in some MENA countries. To address these long-standing challenges, in the short run, the Middle East and Africa countries need to grow faster to create more jobs for the youth bulge. However, in the long run, it is necessary for these countries to increase their potential output. To boost the growth potential in these countries, the right mix of policies is needed. Although policies may differ by countries, but the need for reforms is very urgent in these countries. This is small background to set the scene, but let's continue to set the scene, and then we ask a few questions to our guests today, our panelists today. What are the policies needed to implement in this region? How to strengthen the business climate to unleash the potential of the private sector in Africa and the Middle East, how to reform the business climate and to make it more competitive. What is the situation of the economic freedom in your respective countries and how it affects the growth process. Let's get right to it. Let's get started. We are likely to have today a terrific panel who will talk about these issues and the situation of the region, situation of economic freedom. We have from Côte d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, Jean-Louis Billon. Jean-Louis Billon is an African industrial, former Minister of Trade and SMEs, former Chairman of Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Ivory Coast. Monsieur Billon, you have around 15 minutes.